Have you ever felt like you're capable of so much more than what you're currently doing? Like there's a version of you out there, stronger, more disciplined, more focused, but somehow it feels just out of reach? You start projects with excitement but lose steam halfway. You make promises to yourself that tomorrow will be different, but tomorrow looks a lot like yesterday. If this sounds familiar, you're not alone. Countless people struggle with this invisible wall between who they are and who they want to become. But here's the truth. Success, discipline, and transformation aren't reserved for the special few. They aren't gifts handed down by fate. They are built, brick by brick, habit by habit, choice by choice. And today you're going to learn how to bridge that gap. By the time you finish listening, you'll have the tools to design a life anchored in discipline, powered by habits, and guided by clarity of purpose. It all begins with clarity. Imagine trying to build a house without a blueprint. You might have bricks, cement, and wood, but without a clear plan, all you'll end up with is a pile of wasted materials. That's how most people approach their lives. They want success, but success is vague. They want happiness, but happiness is undefined. They want more money, better health, and deeper relationships. But when you ask them what exactly that means, the answers are fuzzy. That's why clarity is the first step. Without clarity, discipline has nothing to hold on to. Motivation fizzles, effort scatters, and life feels like you're running on a treadmill, moving fast but going nowhere. Clarity transforms that treadmill into a highway, pointing you toward a specific destination. So how do you get clear? One of the most powerful tools is a simple but life-changing framework: SMART goals. You may have heard the term before, but hearing it isn't the same as applying it. SMART stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. Let's break this down in a way that connects directly to your life. Specific. A vague goal like, I want to be healthier, doesn't move the needle. Your brain doesn't know what to do with that. But if you say, I will jog for 20 minutes every morning, suddenly you have a clear instruction. You've turned an abstract desire into a concrete action. Measurable. What gets measured gets managed. If you want to save money, saying, I'll save more this year, isn't enough. Instead, decide, I will save $200 every month. Now you can track it. Each month you either did it or you didn't. Measurement creates accountability. Achievable. Dreams are fuel, but goals must be grounded. If you've never run before, setting a goal to run a marathon next month might crush you with failure. Instead, start with a 5K in 3 months. Make it within reach, then stretch as you grow. Success builds momentum, and momentum builds confidence. Relevant. Goals must align with your values and vision. If you're chasing something just because society says it's impressive, you'll burn out quickly. Your goals should matter to you personally. Otherwise, even if you achieve them, the victory will feel hollow. Time-bound. A dream without a deadline is just a wish. Deadlines create urgency. They turn someday into today. If you want to write a book, don't just say, I'll write it. Decide, I will finish the first draft by December 1st. That date turns the invisible into the visible. When you apply the SMART framework, you start building clarity. And with clarity comes focus. Focus is the foundation on which discipline stands. But clarity alone is not enough. You've probably set goals before and still fallen off track. Why? Because goals give you direction, but habits keep you moving. Imagine a rocket launching. The goal is to reach space. The launch pad provides the direction, but without the steady burn of fuel, the rocket crashes back down. Habits are your fuel. Habits are powerful because they take discipline out of the realm of decision-making. When something becomes a habit, you no longer negotiate with yourself. You don't ask, should I brush my teeth today? You just do it. Imagine applying that same autopilot to reading, exercising, saving money, or working on your craft. There's a principle called the compound effect. Small actions, repeated consistently, create massive results over time. Reading 10 pages a day might feel insignificant. But over a year, that's 3,650 pages, or about 15 books. Doing 20 push-ups each morning might not give you instant muscles, but in a year, you've done over 7,000 push-ups. It's not about the size of the action, it's about the consistency. The secret here is to design habits that align with your goals. If your goal is fitness, the habit might be a morning workout. If your goal is financial freedom, the habit might be tracking your expenses daily. If your goal is self-mastery, the habit might be journaling every night. Each small action becomes a thread, and over time, those threads weave the fabric of the life you desire. But here's the catch: building habits isn't always glamorous. The early morning alarm doesn't feel exciting. Skipping dessert when everyone else is indulging doesn't feel fun. Writing a page when you'd rather scroll on your phone doesn't feel rewarding in the moment. That's where most people quit. This is where discipline comes in. Too often people rely on motivation. Motivation feels good, but it's unreliable. Motivation is like a spark. It flares up but burns out quickly. Discipline, on the other hand, is like a steady fire that keeps burning even when the wind blows. Motivation asks, "Do I feel like it?" Discipline says, "It doesn't matter how I feel. This is who I am. This is what I do." Think of professional athletes. Do you think they always feel motivated to train? Absolutely not. But they've trained their discipline. They show up regardless of feelings. And that's why they succeed. The same principle applies to you. Motivation may get you started, but discipline keeps you going. Now you might be wondering, how do I strengthen discipline? Discipline is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. Start small. If you can't wake up at 5 a.m. every day, start by waking up 15 minutes earlier than usual. If you can't meditate for an hour, start with 5 minutes. Each small act of discipline reinforces your identity as someone who follows through. Identity is the key. When you see yourself as a disciplined person, your actions follow. Instead of saying, "I'm trying to quit smoking," you say, "I'm not a smoker." Instead of saying, "I'm trying to write," you say, "I am a writer." Your habits and discipline shape your identity, and your identity shapes your future. But discipline is not about punishment. It's about alignment. It's about aligning your daily actions with your highest vision. And that vision is created in your mind before it's lived in reality. Visualization is a tool the most successful people in the world use, from athletes to entrepreneurs. Your brain doesn't fully distinguish between what's vividly imagined and what's experienced. When you visualize yourself succeeding, feeling the emotions, seeing the details, you program your mind to believe it's possible. When a runner visualizes crossing the finish line, when a speaker visualizes delivering a flawless presentation, when a student visualizes acing the exam, they're not daydreaming, they're rehearsing for reality. You can do the same. Each morning, take a few minutes to visualize yourself living your ideal day. See yourself exercising, working with focus, speaking with confidence, and ending the day proud. The more you rehearse it in your mind, the more natural it becomes in your life. Visualization, however, must be paired with action. Dreaming without doing leads to frustration. But when you visualize and then take disciplined action, you create momentum. And momentum is powerful. It's easier to keep going than to start. That's why the hardest part of any workout is putting on your shoes. The hardest part of writing is opening the document. Once you start, momentum carries you forward. To harness momentum, create rituals. Rituals are powerful because they eliminate decision fatigue. A morning ritual, for example, sets the tone for your day. Maybe you wake up, drink water, stretch, read a page, and then get to work. A night ritual helps you wind down and prepare for rest. Rituals signal to your brain, "This is what we do." They create stability in a chaotic world. The environment you create matters too. Willpower is limited, but environment is powerful. If you're trying to eat healthier, stock your kitchen with healthy foods and remove junk. If you're trying to read more, keep a book on your nightstand and put your phone in another room. If you're trying to focus, turn off notifications and clear your workspace. Don't rely on willpower alone. Design your environment to support your goals. And when setbacks happen, and they will, don't see them as failures. See them as feedback. Every successful person has stumbled. What separates them is that they got back up. Thomas Edison said, "I haven't failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." Failure isn't the opposite of success, it's part of success. Resilience is built by reframing. Instead of saying, "I failed," say, "I learned." Instead of saying, "This setback proves I can't," say, "This setback shows me how I can." Each time you get back up, you strengthen your resilience muscle. Over time, you become unstoppable. Resilience isn't about never falling. It's about never staying down. Every time you rise after being knocked down, you send a powerful message to yourself. I am not finished. I am not defeated. I'm still moving forward. And that inner declaration, repeated again and again, builds unshakable confidence. The truth is, life will test you. Obstacles will show up uninvited. Some days you'll feel like everything is against you. But discipline isn't forged in easy times, it's forged in struggle. Steel is not hardened without fire, and neither are you. The resistance you face is not meant to break you but to shape you. Every challenge contains within it the seed of growth, if you choose to see it that way. When you hit a setback, zoom out. Ask yourself, will this matter in 5 years? Most of the time the answer is no. That failed exam, that missed workout, that bad day at work. None of it defines you. What defines you is what you consistently do afterward. If you return to your habits and if you stay aligned with your vision, setbacks become stepping stones rather than stumbling blocks. Celebrate progress, even the smallest victories. Too often people wait to celebrate only when the big goal is achieved. But waiting robs you of fuel. Progress is proof that you're moving, and proof deserves recognition. Did you drink more water today? Celebrate. Did you write 200 words? Celebrate. Did you resist hitting snooze once this week? Celebrate. Each small win is a brick in the foundation of your transformation. And don't underestimate the power of accountability. When you share your goals with someone you trust, you add an extra layer of responsibility. Accountability partners, mentors, or even supportive friends act like mirrors, reflecting back your potential when you forget it yourself. Alone you might quit. With accountability you rise higher. Another key to long-term discipline is gratitude. It might sound simple, but gratitude reshapes your perspective. When you're grateful, discipline feels less like a burden and more like a privilege. Instead of saying, I have to work out, you begin to think, I get to move my body. Instead of saying, I have to save money, you think, I get to build freedom. Gratitude transforms obligation into opportunity. As you practice gratitude, something shifts. You stop chasing success out of desperation and start pursuing it out of inspiration. You're not running away from a life you hate. You're moving toward a life you love. That's when discipline becomes joy. Now imagine your future self. Picture yourself 1 year from now if you put these principles into practice. Imagine the clarity of knowing exactly what you're working toward. Imagine the confidence of sticking to habits that align with your goals. Imagine the strength of having built discipline, the resilience to overcome setbacks, and the joy of seeing your vision unfold. That future self is not a fantasy. It's waiting for you. But it depends on the decisions you make today. Discipline is built in the present moment, not tomorrow. Tomorrow is a promise that never comes. Today is the only time you can act. So what will you do today? Will you write that page, run that mile, drink that glass of water, make that call, and turn off that distraction? Each choice is small, but together they are monumental. Small hinges swing big doors. Small steps create massive journeys. This is the secret the great achievers of history understood. They didn't wait for the perfect day, the perfect plan, or the perfect feeling. They acted consistently, relentlessly, and imperfectly. They knew that discipline was the bridge between desire and achievement. And here's the beauty: you don't need to be extraordinary to build discipline. Ordinary people with ordinary lives become extraordinary by doing the small things, consistently, without giving up. Discipline is not about talent. It's about persistence. It's about choosing action over excuses. Your story is still being written. You have chapters left that can outshine everything that came before. But only if you choose to pick up the pen. Only if you decide that today, you are no longer a prisoner of procrastination, no longer a victim of distraction, and no longer someone who starts and never finishes. Today you become the kind of person who follows through. And following through doesn't mean perfection. It means persistence. You will still have off days. You will still stumble. But persistence says, I will keep going anyway. That persistence, Powered by clarity, fueled by habits, anchored in discipline, guided by vision, strengthened by resilience, and inspired by gratitude, that persistence will make you unstoppable. Think about the legacy you want to leave. At the end of your life, what story will your actions tell? Will it be a story of hesitation, of waiting, of never quite becoming who you were meant to be? Or will it be a story of courage, of discipline, of rising every time you fell, of becoming the person you always knew you could be? Legacy is not built in a day, but it is built day by day. Every morning you wake up is a chance to write another line in your story. Every decision you make is a brushstroke on the canvas of your life. And one day when you look back, you'll see the masterpiece you created, not by accident but by design. So start today. Don't wait for motivation. Don't wait for permission. Don't wait for the perfect moment, because the perfect moment is now. Take one small action that aligns with your vision. Then another. And another. Watch as momentum builds. Watch as your habits form. Watch as discipline strengthens. Watch as your life transforms. You are not powerless. You are not stuck. You are not defined by your past. You are defined by what you choose now. And right now you can choose discipline. You can choose clarity. You can choose resilience. You can choose to become the person you were always meant to be. The path is not easy, but it is worth it. Every moment of resistance you overcome, every temptation you deny, and every setback you rise from makes you stronger. And that strength will carry you forward, not just for days or weeks, but for years. Imagine the impact, not just on you but on everyone around you. Your discipline will inspire others. Your transformation will encourage them to believe in their own. Your life will become proof that change is possible, that growth is real, and that success is within reach for anyone willing to commit. And that's the ultimate reward. Not just achieving your own goals, but lighting the way for others. Because when you rise, you give permission for others to rise too. Your discipline creates a ripple effect that can touch lives you'll never even meet. So as you step forward from this moment, remember this. Success is not about luck. It's not about talent. It's not about waiting for the right time. It's about discipline. Discipline is freedom. Discipline is strength. Discipline is the doorway to the life you've always wanted. The question is, will you walk through that doorway? Will you commit to the small steps, the daily choices, and the consistent actions that will carry you from where you are to where you want to be? The decision is yours. And if you make that decision, if you commit fully, persistently, relentlessly, your future self will thank you. The world will thank you. And your life will become a living testimony to the power of discipline. So don't wait. Begin now. The rest of your life starts today.